I'm writing this before it's too late, before I lose complete control. It's been making its rounds on the internet lately, usually only in the deepest corners, but it's starting to go mainstream, and that scares me to death. I can understand why it's getting popular though. In this fucked up world, it's a nice escape. To be able to take a break from yourself. Well, who wouldn't want that? The mirror game started from the phenomenon of saying words over and over until they lose their meaning. Like chuckle. Chuckle, 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 chuckle. Chukle. Chukly. Eventually it becomes nonsense. Well, some guy on 4chan named George Mask was drugged out of his mind and did this in front of a mirror. The word he said didn't matter. It became nonsense like all the rest. But he decided to try it with himself. And just stared at his reflection for so long that he became nonsense too. It only lasted for a second, but to him, it was better than being high. That one moment where you don't recognize your own self. Disconcerting, but addicting. And that's how the mirror game was born. Most people who tried it never try again. It was too weird, too scary to see your face in the mirror and not recognize it. Others though, especially ones with an addictive personality, like Jord, like me, well, we couldn't stop. It was messed up, we knew. With all the stress of family, work, money, just life in general, it was an escape to have a break from your own body, to stare into your own eyes until they weren't yours anymore. That was the only true relief. Drugs took you places, but never out of your head. The first time I tried, it didn't work. I had too many thoughts in my head. When you repeat the word over and over again, you can't think of anything else. Your mind has to go blank, except for that one word. George said you have to do the same with the mirror. Don't think about anything. Just stare into the mirror, into your reflection's eyes, until you lose yourself. The second time, it worked. I had just discovered my girlfriend was cheating on me with her history professor. I was determined to escape. For 2 days I tried everything. Alcohol, weed, cocaine. Speeding down the freeway at 90 miles an hour. The pain didn't go, didn't relent. And I found myself in the bathroom, standing over the sink, holding a razor blade to my wrist. Before I slit my skin, I looked at myself. I was a mess. Unwashed hair, bloodshot eyes. I stared at myself for a good 20 minutes, thinking about her, thinking about him. Did she love him? Did she moan for him? She never did for me. Oh dear God. Fuck. An hour passed. The thoughts of them left me. I was numb. The razor was forgotten. There was only me, only the mirror. I stared into the eyes of my reflection, blue with specks of gold. I stared more, brown with flecks of green. More, purple with bits of red. More, gold with specks of blue. They were not my eyes anymore. I stared at them. They stared back. I blinked. They blinked. I opened them wide, and they did too. We did everything the same, but we were different. I looked at the floor, then back. The spell was broken. It was me in the mirror again, but the pain was lessened. Not forgotten, not gone, but less. George posted again 2 weeks later. He was doing it every day. He said he was getting better. He could look away and still not recognize himself. I did it again too. The second time, the third time, fourth time. By the fifth time, I was like Jord. I could look away as many times as I wanted and not recognize myself. It became a kind of self-harm without the harm, an escape from reality. When you lost your reflection, the most intimate thing in the world, the only way you could ever see yourself, you lost everything else too. The good things, yes, but also the stress and worry, the insecurities, the doubts, all the bad things. And the bad things more than outnumbered the good. It was worth it. The 9th time I did it, something happened. I had been in front of the mirror for more than 2 hours, my longest stretch yet. I decided to go back into myself by letting reality in, letting all the thoughts in. But this time, it didn't work. Not right away, at least. It took a couple of minutes to recognize my reflection again. I didn't panic, though. I just assumed I was getting even better. But the next time I did it, I knew something was wrong. It took 10 minutes to recognize myself this time. And in those 10 minutes, something happened which I will never forget. I could still control my body, and the reflection always did the same. It was just that there was this disconnect, like my brain glitched and I didn't process the fact that it was me. But this time, when I moved my hand, the reflection didn't. It just kept staring. I opened my mouth. It still just stared. I walked a few steps away. It didn't. Then the 10 minutes were up, and I recognized myself once again. I resolved never to do it again. But the mirror didn't care. It started to happen without me even trying. When I walked in to take a shower, bam, gone. To use the bathroom, gone too. It started to happen with the tiniest reflection. If I walked past a window, saw myself in a spoon, stood over a puddle of water, I was gone. And each time it took longer to come back. I was still able to function, go to work and school and the like, but I felt like a shadow of myself, like I wasn't fully in control. And then the reflections started to move on their own. If I blinked, it would move its hand. If I stood still, it would walk. I didn't know what it was, but I know what it's not. And it is not me. Jord hadn't posted for 2 months. I tried to believe he had moved on. I hoped he had gotten back into drugs. Anything would be better. And then it wasn't just the reflection that started to move on its own, but my body. It walked and talked and ate without me doing anything. There were still moments where I was in control, though. It's in a moment like that that I am writing this. I can feel my hold slipping. I am getting smaller, fading. I think I will be gone by the end of the day. Don't mourn me. I did it to myself. I suppose it was suicide. A long, drawn-out suicide. But I beg you, do not try this. You will hear about it. It's one of those internet fads. Most will try it and never do it again, but some will. It is to them that I am speaking. Don't try to escape your pain. It is a part of you. Embrace it. I'm going again, losing control. I don't have long. Beware. Whatever has taken over my body is out there, and I don't think it's human.
Hello listeners, if you enjoyed this story, please check out the author in the description. For more content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more sinister readings.